Well, absolutely. I mean, we know we have a eyewitness, thank God, a U.S. intelligence agent named Bill Gowan, who was there in Rome, 1946, 1947, as a young counterintelligence special agent for the U.S. Army, and he investigated this, and he gave 4 days' worth of testimony in a deposition, verifying everything that I'm telling you today, verifying that a 10-truck convoy went first to a monastery in Rome, where they changed it out from British license plates to Vatican ones, and drove right in there to St. Peter's Square, claiming they had church property on it. And he interviewed and debriefed the people involved in that operation. Okay, tell us about, there's so many things to discuss, the famous case of the Vatican banker dying and how that ties into things. Right. Well, the Vatican Bank, also known as the Institute for Religious Works, has been involved in one scandal after another, and many scandals that we aren't even aware about because they got away with it. The Calvi case was high finance at its worst. It involved the largest bank in Italy, Banco Ambrosiano, involved operations in the Bahamas, and ultimately in North America. Some people claim it triggered the savings and loan crisis in the 1980s. And it was a purposeful destabilization of Italy's largest bank by a group called the P2, who I think were Illuminati, and one of their many guises, the idea being to take over Italy. And it caused disruptions worldwide. The people involved, Sindona and Calvi, both died mysteriously. Marcinkus went into hiding at Sun City, Arizona. And the epicenter of the whole thing was the Vatican. So it's sort of like the Dan Brown book. Do you think that the Vatican is at the heart of the European Union? Because I'm trying to learn and ferret this out. I know Blair is converted so that he can be head of the EU. That's admitted. I know that the European Union, they say that is Roman Catholic, and that they want it to, be the new, quote, center of a global Europe, according to the British Prime Minister, Gordon Brown, and that the Treaty of Rome set up the European Union, and now U.S. Army documents have been declassified. You probably know about this, that the Nazis knew they were going to lose in 44, so they put their money into dummy corporations and said, we will rise again as a European Union. Are you familiar with that? Well, yeah, I'm familiar with that theory, and there is a lot of things to support that. First of all, some of the symbolism, even the flag of the European Union and of the Council of Europe is taken from the altar at the Cathedral of Strasbourg. That is those stars, circular stars. And there was a forerunner to the European Union called the, trying to think, Pan-Europa Union, and it was the same flag except with a cross in the middle of it. So stay there. Let's do 5 more minutes on the other side with our guest, Dr. Jonathan Levy, VaticanBankClaims.com.
This is the shipping version of the Liberty unit. It's the basic unit that we work with. It consists of 14 cases and a pail of sprouting seeds and a sprouter. Extremely well balanced, and this is the one that we adjust for special dietary needs, like diabetics and people with gluten intolerances. Also, those who are concerned about not having any soy products or textured vegetable protein, this is the unit that we adjust for special needs. All of these 1-year supplies are extremely well balanced. They have all the fruits and vegetables and dairy products, everything that you need for a normal diet, and it fits most people. But if you have special needs, if you're a vegan, or if you're a diabetic, or have gluten intolerances, please call us directly and we'll be able to adjust your unit to fit what you need. The 800 number is 800-810-4441, and that will get our administrative office and we'll help you as best we can.
I wanted to get Jim Tucker on last hour, but they got him now, so he's coming up in about 3 minutes. He was at Bilderberg. He always learns more in hindsight than he even learns while he's there, so we'll get an update from him and then go to Omid in Sweden, Tex in Texas, Lance in Connecticut, Stephen in Texas, Jonathan in Connecticut. I'll at least get to those, get a few other key news articles. Finishing up with Dr. Jonathan Levy, his lawsuit against the Vatican for their activities. I've studied the New World Order power structure, and it just looks like every major nation in the West, the East, they're all just run by strong men, special interests, and they all just meet together and are setting up this, a world system with less and less freedom. From your research, are you saying you think the Vatican is the most powerful force in the world, or are you just saying it's run by a mafia, or are there factions in the Vatican? Because you're quite a Vatican expert and have been suing them for 10 years, and you're a professor, that studies these type of things. What's your bottom line view on that?
No, bottom line, they ought to drag the books, the account books out of the Vatican and audit them. That's what they ought to do. And if you did that, you'd get to the bottom of a lot of mysteries, including maybe even what happened to Bernie Madoff's billions. Who knows what's in there?
Yeah, good old Bernie Madoff. Just another case of that. So where is your suit going? It's getting a lot of media attention. It's been going on 10 years. Have they exhausted all their legal tricks, or are you going to prevail, or what's happening?
Well, we hope we're going to prevail. We're on the sixth amended complaint, which means we've had to amend the lawsuit 6 times. Of course, the Vatican has bottomless legal resources. Right now, the case against the Vatican Bank itself is up again in the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals. This time on the issue of immunity. Can you even sue the Vatican Bank in the United States? And then the other part of the lawsuit is proceeding, slowly but proceeding, and that's against the Franciscan order, who were the actual foot soldiers of the church involved in laundering this concentration camp money.
Amazing. Okay, well, Dr. Jonathan Levy, thank you so much for spending time with us.
Thank you so much.
You bet. Take care. Yeah, we're trying to give you all perspectives here. And before we go to Jim Tucker, and I want to ask Jim Tucker this question. I've studied it. The Vatican's its own city. It's above the law. The Federal Reserve's private. It tells us on the news it's above any law. We're now told the bankers are above the law with the banker bailout. The District of Columbia says they have immunity and are above the law and are an incorporation. There's all these, the Cayman Islands say they're above the law. It's just basically mafias take over groups or set up organizations and then declare they're above the law. And now it's a bunch of these groups teaming up. They form the New World Order. So they're all guilty. Israel, is a private, basic corporation, and there's different people that live there. But the point is the elites are using it as a command base. It's the same story over and over again.
Thank you for listening to GCN. Visit GCNlive.com today.